I hope that many of you have had the opportunity to participate in some of the wonderful events that have been happening here on campus and in our community in honor of Women's History Month. And I'd also like to thank our Women's History Month committee for their time and efforts in making this a great event. Jennifer Smith, Jennifer? Kathleen Owens, over there by the door greeting people. And Naira Selman, one of our students who helps every year with this event. And Katie Hyder. Katie, thanks for your help today as well. And I'd also like to acknowledge, all the wonderful women here today, but I'd like to acknowledge, too, our previous recipients who are here. I see Terry Hanlon, Margot, Kathleen Owens. Stand or just wave your hand if you're a previous recipient of the Salute to Women Award. Helen Keller once said, "Many persons have the wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose." Here in this room today, we will see the evidence of worthy purpose. The women who will be introduced to you this afternoon are to be honored because they have achieved and pursued worthwhile goals in dedicating themselves to social justice and working for the well-being of others. It is now my pleasure to introduce a remarkable woman and also someone who is a previous recipient of this award, someone who we all admire and that we here at GRCC have had the privilege of having as our interim president for the past year, Dr. Ann Mulder. President Mulder will introduce our award recipients, and following that, we'll have Dr. Andy Bound, Vice President of College Advancement, who will share a few words with you about the Salute to Women Scholarship.
Thank you so much, Chris. You know, one of the joys of coming back to this college after so many years is to see the women that have been a part of your life. How wonderful it was for me to see Chris Arnold and the position of leadership that she has assumed at this college, considering the fact that she started out as the work study when I was the Assistant Dean of Continuing Education at the college. So it is a real joy. And it carries on a proud tradition that I think this college has always made in its statement about working and doing things, providing things for women. I had the great honor of beginning the first program for women who were returning to college, one of the first in the state of Michigan. And I like to think that this event, which began some 10 years ago or 11 years ago now, perhaps was an outgrowth of some of those early ideas that women had such a remarkable place to play in the universe, in our college, and in our community. It is said that the goal of education is to create people who are capable of doing new things, not simply of repeating what other generations have done, people who are creative, inventive, and therefore courageous. It is also said that when you add women, you change everything. You get something far-reaching, vital, and profoundly simple, a culture in which women leaders are normal, natural, and expected. Today, we are going to meet and honor a small group of women who understand education to be just that, a way to change everything, a way to improve the world and to move each generation forward. A task that continues to take courage, it is. And so I say to all of you, welcome to the 2009 Salute to Women Honors Reception. This day was instituted as part of GRCC's commemoration of Women's History Month, as Chris noted. This award honors all GRCC women, past and present. 4 women are specifically chosen each year, those who have achieved excellence personally and professionally as representatives of the distinction and quality of all women of Grand Rapids Community College. I am so pleased to be able to introduce them to you today. Our first recipient is Tina Hoxie, who is receiving the current Employee Salute to Women Award. Tina, could you come to the podium? I was truly thrilled to know that Tina was going to get this award. I did not know Tina when I was here many years ago, but she is one of those people I consider one of my go-to people, and I am so pleased to be able to give you this honor today, Tina. Tina Hoxie is the Dean of Student Affairs. Dean Hoxie's work has always been centered on the concept that education is a holistic experience. All aspects of life on a college campus contribute to the success of the student. Issues of student involvement and development have guided her choice of career, just as it supports her work today. She says, I really need to choose to walk around campus and speak with the students to stay engaged and aware of their needs. Less contact is detrimental, she believes. As Dean of Student Affairs, Tina works to remove barriers to education for students and to enhance the full college life experience for GRCC students. The Student Affairs Division, many of whom are here today, includes the Counseling and Career Center, admissions, enrollment, the Enrollment Center, testing, tutoring, student records, and student life, truly caring for their students from their very first inquiry to the college, to their graduation. The importance of the connection between and among the students, the staff, and the community is never far from Dean Hoxie's mind. Congratulations to Tina Hoxie. She is a woman of energy, a woman of integrity. Tina.
Thank you. Since I learned that I was going to receive this honor, it's kind of stressed me out a little bit, quite honestly. And for those of you that know me, I actually am not uncomfortable getting up in front and talking to people, but it's about myself, and that's a challenge. This is truly an honor, and I am so appreciative. It's a privilege to work at Grand Rapids Community College and to serve our many students that come here. I thought of telling a little bit of a story, and this is the one I landed on. But I want you to know there's a happy ending to it. And I had a little bit of a rough beginning here at GRCC, and what I say by that is I was at Aquinas for 13 years, and I loved working there, and it was just an exceptional environment for me to start my career at Aquinas. And they took good care of me, and I learned a great deal. As we all start a career in the beginning, there's a lot of learning that happens. When I applied at GRCC and I was there through the interview process, I got the interview, and I was very excited about that, and it was around Christmas time, the holiday, and I was planning and I was preparing for that, and I took the day off. I took my suit to the dry cleaners to be cleaned and pressed and everything, and I was going to do a little shopping, and I came back home, and my secretary called and said, someone by the name of Bill Foster is trying to get a hold of you at GRCC. I thought, I wonder why. Well, I called Bill. I had written the interview down for the wrong day. I had missed the interview. This is a true story. Now remember, it has a happy ending because I'm standing right here. So what happened was, he said, the president's getting ready to go out of town, but if you could be down here in an hour, we probably could still arrange something. So I madly went to the dry cleaners, who I had just been there 2 hours before, insisted that I needed my skirt back. You know, they thought I was a little bit of a, crazed, which I was. And I came down to Grand Rapids Community College, and Bill, and I'm indebted to him for this, he calmed me down a little bit, and he says, well, you will have to apologize for missing the interview. Like, I know that. And Dick Calkins interviewed me, and he came into the room, and I apologized. I was sorry. It somehow ended up on the wrong day. And he said to me, I look at it this way. He said, consider yourself a day early. So we went on that interview, and as we pulled out to have lunch, the person getting out of the car in front of me was Sister Aquinas Weber. So I thought, oh no, very few people knew I was actually interviewing for this job. So I'm thinking, when is this gonna end? And as it turned out, she came immediately over to me to talk to me. I couldn't say anything at all. I mean, I was speechless. And Dick was a very tall man. He kind of ushered me off, and we had lunch over in the corner privately by ourselves. And he offered me the position. And I know for Scott, he was probably really not looking forward to that evening, thinking I had the interview the next day because I would have been real stressed and yelling at everybody and everything. So he comes home, and what I said to him as we walked in the door, I said, you know, I got the job. He says, what? So I explained the story. I said, and the other thing I really should tell you, if someone comes up to you and says that I was having this private lunch with this man, I want you to know that I do love you and I'm not having an affair with anyone. So I had a rocky beginning here at GRCC, but it all turned out. One of the things about the award is to think back and reflect what this 15 years has meant to me. And those of you that know me, I work in multiples of 5. Now, the people that are my staff, sometimes they don't like that because if they come up with 6 ideas, we got to come up with 10. You know, so I think they hold back sometimes just to stay at 5. But I don't know. There's a 5 in my birth date. There's a 5 in the year I was born. There's a 5 in every one of my children's birthdays. So there is something about this 5 thing. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But I settled on 3 things that I think have influences for me. One, obviously, is the students at GRCC. It is amazing to have an opportunity to be involved in their lives. And those lives all vary. They're all very diverse and they're very different. When I think back of all the students I've had an opportunity to work with and I think of their successes, that's my reward every single day. And as Ann said, and Mary Ann knows, who really is my greatest support here at GRCC every single day, when I start feeling a little low in my energy, I get up and go find someone to help, to look for, and see how I can connect with a student, because that's what it's about. The second is I think I have an amazing group of people to work with here at the college. We have an awesome student affairs staff that work very hard. They look for students to help, they notice, they pay attention, and they connect. Although we're large at 15,000 plus and even larger with our non-credit, they're out there looking and making that personal connection with our students, and they truly make a difference. You never do anything alone, you do it together. And you certainly make me look good and work very hard for the students, and I want to recognize that. My third, I'm not doing 5, I'm only doing 3. So I'm working on this. I want you to know I'm working on this. My third is my family, and I'd like to honor them. My husband, Scott, of 21 years. I'm not sure, I can never remember. But we're working on 25. Yeah, exactly. My son, Hudson, is here, who's 12, and he is an amazing young man in the 6th grade. My son, Casey, who is soon to be a graduate of Forest Hills Northern. I'm very, very proud of him. And my oldest boy, who is at Heidelberg University now, they changed from college to university, couldn't be here today. Matter of fact, he should be finishing up in his Latin dancing class. I'm hoping he went today to that, but he did call me this morning, and he wished me congratulations. Now, I don't know if Scott put him up to that or if he should get full credit for that. But at 7:30 in the morning, to have him call me and wish me well, I was very pleased at that. And one final thought, my mother could not be here, but I want to mention that I think as I look at all the other award winners, you're amazing people. As I read your stories on the poster, you've done amazing things. And certainly my mom, who raised 5 children, decided to go back to school in her late 30s and become a nurse. She realized that career later in her life, but she practiced it late into her 70s. So she's one lady that if I were ever in the hospital or I ever sick, she's one person I'd want to take care of me, and she's taken care of me, has influenced my life greatly. So thank you so much to the college and to the committee for this honor. I'm very, very happy and feel that there are many people that are very deserving. Thank you so much.
We are so lucky to have Tina Hoxie among us. One more round of applause, please. It's also wonderful to me to welcome back to campus Leah Tobar. Mrs. Tobar is being honored. There you are. I was looking at your daughter. Mrs. Tobar is being honored with the Salute to Women Former Employee Award. Leah Tobar made an early and long-term personal investment in education and in the Grand Rapids public school system, initially with Grand Rapids Junior College and then within the school system until her retirement in 2004. Margaret Mead said, "We teach what we live." This is reflected in Leah Tobar's life. When asked, Leah would not see her lifelong contributions as unusual. In fact, she feels that giving back to your community is natural and is necessary. Certainly, Leah's life is one of modeling community commitment, personal responsibility, and the passion necessary to move forward against conventional expectations. Today, we are happy to agree with her daughters who nominated her and honor Leah Tobar with this Salute to Women award. It's great to have good daughters, isn't it? Congratulations, Leah Tobar. We are so happy to have you back on campus. Thank you for what you have given to Grand Rapids Public School family, to this college, and to our greater community. Leah Tobar, a woman of service and inspiration.
Wow. Do you see me? I'm sure. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Today is the birthday of the great servant Cesar Chavez, who said, "We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity of our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others for their sakes and for our own." I am inspired to serve through my mother's example. Casimira Garcia served her community her whole life, formally by involving herself in elected office and informally by feeding and clothing those in need. She inculcated the importance of serving others since my infancy. I am grateful to her and her example. She was a giant and a saint. To her, I would like to dedicate this recognition. Thank you to the college and the committee for this recognition. I am honored and deeply humble. I thank my husband, Felipe, my children, Samuel, he is not here, Anna, Noemi, Ruth, and Samara, and my great-granddaughter, Amari, who was here, for their support. To close, I would like to share a quote that sums up my life work. John Wesley, the founder of the United Methodist Church, said, "Do all you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, in all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. The work continues. Please do all that you can." Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
That is so beautiful. I have daughters too. One more round of applause for Leah. Fonda Kingsley is the recipient of the Grand Rapids Community College Student Award. Irma Bombeck, one of my favorite philosophers, once said, "It takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else." Fonda Kingsley has that courage. the courage to share her dreams with others, and to reach out her hand to encourage others as she makes her dreams a reality. One nominator said, Fonda motivates others to also bring their best game to the table when working or interacting with her. The narrative went on to compliment her kindness and highlight her unfailing respect and patience for all around her. An excellent student, Ms. Kingsley is planning to continue her education, and she hopes to join the National Guard Army Reserves. She says that she has an obligation to country as well as to self. Fonda relates, my confidence has grown and grown because of the personal and individual attention she experienced at GRCC. She notes that the criminal justice faculty believed in her, and that belief made all of the difference. She says, this was the foundation of my journey, and it is not over yet. Fonda, please accept this award and our best wishes. Fonda Kingsley, a woman of perseverance and joy.
Hello, everyone. I'm very honored for this award today. I walked into Grand Rapids Community College in 1998, and I just graduated in 2008. It took me 10 years to get a 2-year degree, but I never gave up hope on that I can do it. Through life's journeys, you know, life wasn't always perfect, but it was well worth it. So I'll be graduating this May 1st. My mom probably didn't know I was going to do this, but I really owe her a lot for the woman I am today. I told my husband I wasn't going to cry. My mom is like the purest form of what a lady should be. She always dressed nice, had the hat, the purse, the shoes to match, just dressed to the nine. She always, you know, was humble. She never was loud, and she always cared about other people's feelings. I used to think sometimes she was such a lady that I was like, maybe I'm adopted. Because I definitely didn't come out like that. If anybody know me, I'm like the total opposite. I'm very loud, you know, just out there. But along the way, my mother was teaching me different things that I didn't know that was important to me. One of the examples is I had a championship basketball, and my grades was a D. And my coach, she come to the door and she was ready to pick me up, and my mom was like, you're not going. And it was a championship game. This is it. This is what we worked this hard to get to. She was like, you have a D, you're not going. I was so angry at her about that, and she was like, if it was important to you, then you wouldn't have a D. And that's how she put it. And another time that I remember my mother putting her foot down was I used to get kind of speeding tickets. And sometimes wouldn't like to be responsible and pay them. And I also had little parking tickets here at CC, you know, just, you know, in my 20s being irresponsible. And my mother, I had to go to court. They had to give me community service. And my mother was like, I need to talk to you. She was like, I'm not that mother that will be writing you in jail. I am not that mother that will be coming up there to give you money. I'm not that mother that would ever visit you. So whatever you're doing, it needs to stop. And I think that right there is who I am today. Because even though I'm her only child, she always had very high standards for me. I was not spoiled at all. She made a foundation where this is what is expected of you, and this is how you're going to follow. And for me, being the only child, my mother was all I had. So either, I followed it or it's going to be a problem. But me and my mother over this weekend was talking about sacrifices, about what things you would do for your children. And my mom said that everyone that becomes something in life, it was somebody there that had to sacrifice. And I know that my mom sacrificed me on many a nights and many a days. She told my husband this weekend that her knees hurt because she stayed on her knees praying for me all the time. Because I had a strong personality. And I just was a little bit too much for her, I think, sometimes. But how I got here today, I went through a terrible divorce. And it really broke me down, where I could not see no way out. And how was I going to regroup, and how was I going to get my life back in order? And, of course, I called my mother and, was telling her, this is what's going on. And I asked her, could I stay with her? And she told me, no, you cannot. And she said, my daughter could stay with her. But she said, you can't stay with me. And I was like, wow, I'm her only child, what's going on? And she told me, a mother knows their child. And you ain't tired of being sick and tired yet. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something about it. And you ain't done nothing about it, so you can't come stay here. You ain't finna cause my house all in a ruckus. And so that hurt me really bad, but it taught me something, that wasn't my escape. She's not the scapegoat at all. You're gonna figure it out, and you're not gonna be running me crazy, as she say. So that in itself instilled in me that I had to make correct choices. The choices that I make leads me to where I am today. If you don't make the correct choices, you might go down the wrong road. And she always told me that to take care of yourself first. When you take care of you, you can always take care of somebody else. And so, Mom, I would like to tell you that I'm very sorry for all the things I ever did to you. And I know that you prayed and prayed that I wouldn't go to jail, that, that I would make the right decisions. And I just want to tell you, I'm sorry for all the times I ran away, for all the times that I might have disrespected you. I did not listen, but I am a product of my mother's child. And because of you, I'm the woman who I am today. And I want to thank you, and I want to give you this award.
She sounds remarkably like my mother.
Proud of you. Thank
This
you.
is for you. We'll get those awards right with the names on them, won't we? Yes, we will. I have to tell you, Fonda, your mother sounds amazingly like my mother. And that's a good mother, by the way. Our final recipient is LaTarro Taylor. LaTarro? LaTarro Traylor is selected to receive the Salute to Women Alumni Award. Ms. Traylor's relationship with Grand Rapids Community College is a wonderful illustration of the union of personal goals and educational purpose. LaTarro graduated from Crescent High School, received an associate's degree from Grand Rapids Community College, and then a bachelor from Aquinas College. Now, as a Cooley Law School student, LaTarro intends to utilize all of her varied college and extensive public service experience to benefit the full community. Her nomination reads, Ms. Traylor made a conscious decision to share her education, training, and talents with the community that fostered her growth. She worked for some time as a program assistant for the West Michigan Literacy Center, and now she volunteers with the Michigan Campaign for Change, the annual Giants Award Banquet, the AIDS Walk and Legacy Ball, to name just a few, as she pursues this law degree. The nominators repeatedly identified Ms. Traylor as a role model reflective of all the attributes expected of women who receive the Salute to Women Award. LaTarro, it gives me great pleasure to present you our Salute to Women Alumna Award. LaTarro Traylor, a woman of commitment and passion. LaTarro.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it short. I got people here that got to get back to class. That's that dedication, law school. You know, you got to put in those hours in the library. I don't know. Everybody pretty much said everything. You know, as far as my feelings and sentiments. But I do definitely want to thank my mother as well and dedicate my award to my mother as well, because she is definitely my foundation. Best mother ever. I mean, like, to a fault, to the point where I would be like, you know, Mom, you got to be harder on me, you know, and seriously. And, you know, I took her through some motions too, and thank God it was just a phase, just, you know, growing pains and things like that, you know, but my mom was always there for me, and the thing that I appreciate is when I was wrong, my mother would definitely let me know. And I would tell her, you know, being in school, you would have some students whose mom would come up there and kind of go at it with the teacher. And I'm like, well, Mom, you know, you need to go up there and talk to that teacher. And she's like, no, because I know you, you know. And so, but I'm I mean, you know, a lot of kids don't get that. And they got to learn that from the world, which is the hard way, you know, that they're not always right, you know. And so just, you know, I just basically want to let my mom know that even though I probably gave you a hard time about it, I appreciate everything you've ever done for me. I also want to thank my nominators, Miss Sarah Hill, Miss Taisha Hogue, Miss Jessica Ann Tyson, and Miss Ruth Lumpkins for believing that I fit the criteria of this award, and just for believing in me. I have personal relationships with these people, so they know me, and so for them to nominate me, it really means so much. This is their day. This is you guys' award. This is for you. And for all of my friends and for all of the women of integrity that I try to surround myself with, especially, you know, us younger ladies, sometimes it's hard for us to kind of stick to our morals when we see that there are others out there that are doing whatever they want to do and still living life on their own terms, you know. So for us to, you know, have standards and have goals and things like that, women like that are few and far in between, and I do appreciate you guys. And excuse me, last but not least, my executive director, Miss Susan Leedy, I appreciate you and everything you have ever done for me, and just providing astounding professional example. And I do know that, excuse me, guys, when it is time for me to conquer the professional world, your example will be in the back of my head, you know, keeping me on the path that I want to be on. And to Grand Rapids Community College, I had a wonderful experience when I was here, and thank all of you guys. And last but not least, I want to thank God, because without him, none of my relationships, none of these people, this award, none of this here would be possible. So thank you guys.
I would like to ask all four recipients to come back here to the front of the room, if they will, with their awards. They'll just line up here. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the the Salute to Women, the 2009 honors recipients for Women's History Month. Thank you. We have a few more things to do before let's get all these pictures. Was this a good opportunity, a photo op? Okay. Thank you. We celebrate you as women, as professionals, as mothers, as daughters. It's a joy to say that you are part of the sisterhood. Thank you. Join me in welcoming Dr. Andy Bound, Director of Development, Vice President for Development at the college, who sometimes operates with the heart of a woman. That's a good thing.
Well, good afternoon. As I sat through this, actually stood in the back during this recognition ceremony, I couldn't help but think of my wife and my 13-year-old daughter and the models that you four women are for her. You've blessed us with your giving to this community, to family, and to this college, and we are forever grateful. In 1999, the joint work of the Salute to Women Committee and the Women's History Month planning team, the Salute to Women Scholarship Fund was created. And we're proud that each year a scholarship is granted to one GRCC student who is a woman who's at least 25 years old and returning to college with at least a 2.5 grade point average. We're proud each year to award this scholarship because we know it's creating opportunities that you have taken advantage of. If you've been touched by the stories of these four terrific women, you have an opportunity to participate in their good story and the good stories that we create for women for years and years to come. On your way out, if you so choose, there's an envelope. This is Grand Rapids Community College Foundation. If you'd like to make a gift to the Salute to Women Scholarship Fund, we would be ever so grateful. Once again, would you help me recognize our four recipients? Congratulations. Chris?
Again, on behalf of the Diversity Learning Center, thank you all for being here. What a wonderful group of women. And I'd like to also honor all the women here. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. We know, although Women's History Month is concluding, we know that women continue to inspire and lead all year long. Also, just a couple housekeeping things. If you parked down below, the gate will open eventually when you leave. And then if you parked in the ramp across the street, we have a few parking passes available for you. For the recipients, if you can hang around for a little bit, we'd like to get some group photos and some individual photos. And please, for those of you here, we have lots of refreshments, cake and punch, so please feel free to hang out for a while and just enjoy. Thank you very much.